Hey Paducah, City Commissioner Dewan Thomas here, and this is my monthly address where I recap my involvement in the community as well as major decisions we've made as a commission. This month, I've been involved in over 24 community events, engagements, and meetings, and it's been a very productive month. Starting off this month, I joined Commissioner Henderson and several community leaders and pastors in finding a location for our community garden. Commissioner Henderson has been leading this effort, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to support this initiative for our South Side as well as for the entire community. That same week, I met with Sprocket to get a better understanding of their operations and the opportunities that they provide for the community. And I gotta say, I left that meeting with a better understanding. And one major thing that I left with in those discussions was finding ways that we can help serve underprivileged youth. There are several youth in our community that don't have the same advantages or opportunities. So I just want to make sure that I be a voice for those students that may not be able to go into a room with business owners or learn how they could be a business owner or an entrepreneur in our community. So I hope that we can really form that partnership, and I'll be working towards that in the future. I also was able to attend the Pat's Bus community meeting where they discussed the new system that they're going to be moving towards in the near future. Right now, I'm sure you've seen several new bus stop markers around town. And right now, you're able to wave down a bus, but when they change over to this new system, buses will only stop at those designated markers. And the whole purpose of this is to streamline the bus service in our community. So many times people miss a bus or a bus doesn't show up on time, so they're wanting to eliminate those deficiencies or difficulties when it comes to public transportation. Also, they have created a new online system where you can track the bus that you're wanting to ride and see it in real time where it's at. And they also have a system where you can be notified when that bus will be arriving to your designated stop. So the PATS bus system has taken a lot of steps towards the future, bringing these new initiatives just to make your daily commute a lot easier. Also, I have to clarify because I got a lot of messages about this, but PATS Bus is a nonprofit organization. It is not owned or operated by the city of Paducah, but we do aid in their operations by allocating a certain amount of funds for their operations. I was also able to attend the grand opening of the Paducah Symphony Orchestra at the newly renovated Dunlap building. It was a great experience, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be there for that. And I was able to learn about their PSO Academy, which provides affordable music instruction for children and adults at that location. And one of my favorite events of this entire month was being able to speak to the students at Morgan Elementary. Alan Treese has been an integral part in getting me in some of these schools because that's been a major goal of mine, is to inspire and speak life into the next generation of leaders. And I have to say, this class was heavily engaged with my presentation. I got to talk about my role as a commissioner as well as some of my other career paths in the past. And it was just a great experience. The students were so intrigued about my role as commissioner and just me as a person. And they asked so many great questions. And, every time I have an opportunity to speak to the youth, I always like to leave them with this: that you can be a leader no matter your age. You could be a leader for your friends, your school, and your community. And as I look back, I remember times when people like George Wilson would come visit our schools, and it was always so inspiring to see someone from Paducah in real life that is majorly successful. It let me know that I can be in his shoes one day, or I can be successful one day, and I can be great one day. So I always appreciate, and it warms my heart to have these opportunities to speak to our youth. In closing out the month of March, I was able to join community members as well as students from Paducah on a tour of Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. I was also honored to participate in a discussion with the president of Meharry alongside the deans there about an initiative to bring a dental program to Paducah. And this program will have the potential to transform lives in our community, especially for those that are underserved and can't afford conventional dental care. The goal of this program is to work towards real solutions for health disparities in our community while also revitalizing our South Side. And a key part of this initiative is to open up a dental clinic on our South Side that will provide high quality dental care for the community. And on top of that, it's going to bring jobs for our community. It's also going to attract young professionals to work in our community while also attracting investment into our community. So I encourage you to look up Meharry, look up their history, the institution, and the programs they provide, and also be on the lookout as this plan takes shape in our city. And lastly, the Paducah Historical Preservation Group alongside Ms. Ruth Baggett had an amazing weekend surrounding the legacy of Dr. Stuart Nelson. They had Dr. Dennis Dickerson come to Paducah to tell about the life and story of Dr. Stuart Nelson, something that they didn't really teach us in school here. Dr. Dickerson taught us about so much, but some of the things that stuck out to me were the prominent figures Dr. Nelson rubbed shoulders with throughout his life. Some of those are W.E.B. Du Bois, Gandhi, and even Martin Luther King. But learning his history was a major eye-opener, and it just made me appreciate his legacy and his name even more. Now, moving on to the main part of this video, which is our commission meetings. For the month of March, we had 3 commission meetings, which is a little different, but it was because some commissioners had to travel during the month of February, so we moved one meeting to March. And the first 2 meetings were honestly very short, and we didn't cover much, but one thing that I wanted to point out was the abolishment of the 911 landline fee. And for some, that may not matter, but for others that still have landlines, I'm sure they appreciate that fee being removed from their bill. But this decision was made because we enacted the parcel fee, which is helping with the 911 tower improvements that is improving radio communications for our first responders. Our previous 911 towers had several blackout spots throughout our city, and this was a serious issue, especially for our first responders that may be in a deadly situation. So I'm grateful that we have these improvements coming along because it's making our community much safer. And moving on to our last commission meeting, we covered several important topics that I'm sure you would appreciate learning more about. The first being the adoption of our 2025 and 2026 commission priorities. These priorities were covered in our priority setting session, and I covered those in last month's recap. And the main thing that I would like to cover is the fact that I did not allow the term homelessness to be removed from our priorities. And keeping with transparency, our team was tasked with streamlining the priorities and making them more up to government language. And I took offense to the term homelessness being removed from that priority list. They changed the wording to economic mobility, and they used the term human needs, which are not bad things. But I didn't agree with the change because at the end of the day, homelessness is a priority and the city has to lead the way. I don't agree with shying away from uncomfortable conversations or uncomfortable topics because usually those are the most needed conversations. And even this month, we had a gentleman come to our commission meeting and share his story of overcoming homelessness right here in Paducah. And if I'm being honest, there are several people in our community that have never had to go without. But for many others, they're not as lucky. With 21% of our population living below the poverty line, that means that some people are one paycheck away from potentially being in the streets. So I could not let the focus be diverted from that reality. And moving forward, we will be having an official plan in place on how we're going to financially support organizations in our community that deal with homelessness on a day-to-day basis. So be on the lookout for those updates. Also, the Paducah Police Department presented to us their new deflection specialist team. These officers are tasked with building relationships in our community, especially with those dealing with mental health crises and potential drug abuse. Over the past few months, the team has built relationships with individuals that have constant run-ins with law enforcement, and over 50 individuals have been helped by them. They have provided food and basic needs, as well as helping individuals get into recovery and other behavioral health services. And also, they've helped so many individuals get their IDs, as well as Section 8 vouchers for housing. And I gotta say, the presentation really inspired me, and I'm super grateful for this team. And I'm grateful for the Paducah Police Department because over the years, I've always said they stay several steps ahead of the curve and just prove how much they actually care about our community. It's not always about just putting people in jail. It's about helping others. And I'm super grateful for them, the deflection team, and all the leadership that helped get this into place. And to end it all out, we authorized a letter of support for a new spec building in our community, which will be built by GPED, the Greater Paducah Economic Development Group. Their goal is to get this building built, attract a new business to our community, which will provide more jobs for our city. And also, whenever the building sells, the city will recoup all costs associated with having the building built. So that's great news for our community. And this concludes our recap. I hope you've enjoyed, and I want to encourage you to like and share the video because that's the best way to make sure our community is informed and engaged with the decisions we're making in your local government. And I will see you in the next video.